Chapter 14 of For Heaven's Sake, Little Talks to Little Folks by Reverend Gerald T. Brennan. This LibriVox recording is in the public domain. Recording by Maria Therese. Chapter 14 St. Peter Goes Shopping. St. Peter, you know, is a very important person in heaven. Yes, St. Peter has a mighty important job. He has charge of the gates of heaven. It is St. Peter's job to let only good souls into heaven. St. Peter sends the bad souls down into hell. It seems that one day St. Peter talked to God, and St. Peter was very sad. St. Peter complained to God that only a few persons had entered heaven that day. He wondered what the matter was. "Why, it's the devil," said God to St. Peter. "The devil has been working very hard these days. He never gets tired. The devil is stealing our souls." That made St. Peter very angry. He said nothing more to God. He decided, however, to stop the devil from stealing souls from God. Now what do you think St. Peter did? Well, that night he filled his pockets with money. When no one was looking, St. Peter locked the gates of heaven and hurried down the steps. Yes, St. Peter left heaven. He went straight down to hell. St. Peter knocked on the door of hell. The door opened, and out walked the devil. Of course, the devil was terribly surprised. In fact, when the devil saw St. Peter, he was afraid. "How would you like to make some money?" asked St. Peter. "Oh, I'd like it," smiled the devil, as he rubbed his hands. "Then sell me your tools," said St. Peter boldly. "Sell me the tools you use to keep people out of heaven." The devil scratched his head. He thought for a long, long time. Then he smiled. "Well, St. Peter," answered the devil, "if you can pay my price, I'll sell my tools." St. Peter emptied the money from his pockets. There were thousands and thousands of dollars. When the devil saw the money, he was very happy. One by one, St. Peter bought the devil's tools: anger, pride, envy, jealousy, bad words, bad thoughts, lies, dishonesty. As St. Peter paid for each tool, he was happy. Of course, the devil was happy too, because he was receiving thousands of dollars. All went well until they came to the last tool. St. Peter's money was gone. He had no more money for the last tool. St. Peter promised the devil that he would come back the next night with more money. But the devil laughed and shook his head. "No, St. Peter," said the devil, "this last tool cannot be bought. This tool is not for sale. I have stolen this tool from little boys and girls. The children call this tool sorrow. When I have this tool, I don't have to worry. When children don't have sorrow, I don't worry when they go to confession, because I know that right after confession they'll sin again, and that's what I want. I want children to sin, and if children sin, they won't go to heaven. Why, all the money in heaven, all the money on earth, cannot buy this tool from me. This tool is not for sale." The devil was right, boys and girls. It's mighty important that you have sorrow when you go to confession. In fact, being sorry for your sins is the most important part of confession. If you are really sorry, you'll show God that you are sorry by not making the same sins again. Telling your sins is not the important part of confession. The important thing is to be sorry. If you are not sorry, God will not take the sins off your soul. Don't let the devil steal sorrow from you. If you should happen to sin, go to confession and tell God that you are sorry, and mean it. Remember, God will not take the sin off your soul unless you are sorry. When you are really sorry, then, God knows that you will not sin again. That's why God forgives you. Be sure, boys and girls, that you have real, true, honest-to-goodness sorrow every time you go to confession. If you are sorry, you will make a good confession. End of Chapter 14.